I'm Afua Twum-Danso Imoh, and I'm a lecturer in the Sociology of Childhood in the department. And my research interests are around constructions of childhood and the implications for children's rights, mainly with a West African focus. So I explore things like the impact of cultural values such as respect, reciprocity, and responsibility on children's rights in general and the Convention on the Rights of the Child in particular. I also explore parent-child relationships and again the implications for children's rights and welfare. And recently I've become quite interested in social change and the impact on children's position within their families, and also its impact on the relationship between children and their families, again within a West African context. And another thing I've become quite interested in is the development of a middle class childhood in the global South, and what that means for the universality and relativity debate that still underpins the children's rights discourse. I have a British Academy funded project, which is a 3-year project, and we're in the 2nd year right now. And it's part of the British Academy International Partnership and Mobility Scheme. And it's a collaboration between the University of Sheffield, our department, and the Department of Sociology and Anthropology at the University of Cape Coast in Ghana. And basically what we're trying to do with this project is to foster collaboration and also build the capacity of early career academics, both in Ghana and in the UK, around a research project which will focus on how children acquire and develop their sexual identities and what that means for how they understand violence and power within the context of relationships or generally within the societies in which they live. A few years ago, I got funding from the University of Sheffield's collaborative scheme, which enabled me to work with an organisation called Stepping Stones Nigeria, which is now called Save Child Africa, and they're based in the UK. But we were able to implement a project on children's participation in non-governmental organisations in the Niger Delta of Nigeria, which is where Stepping Stones or Save Child Africa does the bulk of their work. And so as a partnership, we conducted a piece of research, but in addition to that, I did some training for Stepping Stones Nigeria staff in the UK. They're partners in the Niger Delta of Nigeria. I produced a training module for them on children's participation, which is one of the areas that they wanted to build their capacity on. And this training that I did and the module I created, the partners in Nigeria went on to train their own staff in their own organisations. They also took it into the community where there is an issue with, or where there are a number of obstacles relating to the idea of children having rights in relation to expressing their opinions or participating in decision making, still at the community level in some families as well. We produced a DVD which we distributed to NGOs so that they can also use that in their programs and activities. And we produced a poster, which I'm really proud of, which we developed based on what children were telling us about the challenges they were facing in their communities. This is something we distributed again in the NGOs, and then we left them with a lot of copies, and what they have done is they've started to use it in their sensitization activities in the communities as well. I'm really interested in the whole idea of social change and its impact on children in particular and their position in their families. I did a small-scale piece of research on that a couple of years ago, which was funded by the department on Ghana. And I'm really keen to explore that, not just in relation to Ghana, but also in places like China and India and Brazil, countries that have also had enormous and very rapid social change. And so I'm really keen to explore with partners how the social change that these countries have experienced is having an impact on children in particular, their experiences within the context of their family, their position, their relationship with their parents, and things like that. And I think that'd be really, really interesting. So that's something I would really like to do in the next few years. I would say that my research informs my teaching, especially in my level 3 module and also in my master's module. And in fact, both modules were very much developed from the teaching that I do. And so I used my research interest to frame those two modules as a whole. And so by looking at the module overview, you'll be able to see how closely intertwined these are with my own research interests. I've done research in the past on children's perceptions of physical punishment, which is quite different from what maybe children here in the UK would say about how they feel about children's punishment. So I bring that into the unit to show how children's perceptions can sometimes clash or be at odds with dominant children's rights discourses. I talk about the impact of social change on children's position within their families and things like that. So I would say that for those two modules, certainly my research does inform my teaching, and I would expect to continue doing so.